Hey, so I can't get any sleep, and the reason I can't get any sleep is because I watched Visitor Q by Takashi Miike. Let's get into why the cycle of abuse of your family will constantly follow you, and you will only be resubmitted into the circle and cycle of abuse of your family for the rest of your life, and there's no way of escaping it. It's a pretty sick film. Now, first, let's talk about Takashi Miike. There was a series of 6 films that were all shot on DSLR cameras. They gave this DSLR camera to Takashi Miike, a masterful legend of a filmmaker who at this time had yet to become a legend. During this time, he was already shooting Audition, one of the most fucked up and awesome dramas I've ever seen in my entire life. At the exact same time, he wanted to shoot this movie in a week, and it was also a homage to a film by Pasolini. Pasolini, also legendary filmmaker, 120 Days of Sodom. I love it. I've seen it twice, and I think it's one of the greatest films I've ever seen. I like extreme cinema, and Takashi Miike loves making extreme cinema. He also likes making stuff like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. He also likes making stuff like Samurai Vampire Warlords and Dead or Alive. He's made a lot of really stupid movies, and they've all done stupidly great in Japan, and they've all been shot on a budget. And that's what's so cool about him. He makes over 100 films. He never stops. He's a constant, like, powerhouse in filmmaking, and I love him. He's amazing. Also, you're going to be seeing my cat in the background. Look at my cat. So, Visitor Q. There was a series of 6 films shot on DSLR. Within the course of a week, Takashi Miike shoots this film, and it is one of the gnarliest scripts I've ever read, ever. It is one of Ari Aster's favorite films. I love Ari Aster. He really hates his mother. He's a weird guy who just has a weird mom. And I think he's really good at making movies. So when Ari Aster said this was his favorite movie, I was like, I gotta watch this. I learned what the movie was about. I was like, this is gonna fuck me up. I really shouldn't watch this. And so I didn't for a really long time. But on a film marathon with a friend of mine from Ohio, who's also working on a really cool movie, uh, we watched Necromantic, and then we dove straight into Visitor Q. And I think watching that silently as we tried to deal with how fucked up it was um, really helped me process the film a lot better as a person. But yeah, let's just get into a description of the film. The film opens on a Japanese businessman saying he's doing something for work, and he pulls out a film camera while a young underage prostitute is taking photos of him as they have sex. We later find out that this prostitute who is underage is his daughter. And this is the opening to the world's worst father who does the world's worst shit and is the world's worst guy. Later find him dealing with a unnamed Yakuza who we call Q. Q hits him on the head with a rock twice. And after he hits him on the head with a rock twice, he invites him over to his house. His house is a war zone. His son is slowly abusing their mother with a whipping stick and keeps whipping her with this stick over and over again. Whip, whip, whap, whip, flog, flog, whip, whap, flog. Every time she doesn't do something that he wants her to do. There are bullies outside who are shooting fireworks into their house and slowly burning it from the inside. And their daughter is nowhere to be seen, and no one knows where she is except for the father, who does not explain what has happened to the daughter. Visitor Q is a visceral film. Everything that is implied holds heavy implications, and everything that is shown is just to add to the visceral nature of this mumblecore drama that is perpetuating itself as a comedy. And the comedy never really drives, it just kind of makes it light enough for us to be able to continue to watch the desolation of this family through the eyes of the visitor Q. It's a deeply sexual film, it's a deeply erotic film, but it's also a deeply broken and incestuous and necrophilic film. It's dirty, it's nasty, it's grimy, it's sticky as all shit. And I kind of low key loved it. I don't think I would ever watch it again. I'd probably give it another like 2 years before I like break it back open and like try to like open my brain to like understanding the film. I think it has one of the most beautiful endings I've ever seen in my entire life. Like when the young prostitute runs into Q and is slowly beaten so hard that she decides to go back to her family home just to retrieve her favorite toy plushie, just to find her father sucking on his mother's teat after killing two bullies, um, and dismembering the body of a woman that he raped. And she just decides to join him to suck on his mother's tit. It's saying a lot, I think, about how the cycle of abuse never escapes you and how there's really nothing you can do. You will always be dragged back into this cycle of violence and mistreatment. And I think that that's a really strong message. It makes a lot of sense, and I think that it's not advertising any of the fucked up nature of the film, but I think it's just trying to be a pastiche of suburbia. I think that, like, if anything, this film is like Takashi Miike's version of Blue Velvet. A film that kind of shows you something ugly in a world that is supposed to be beautiful. But the worst part is that Miike is such a hard-hitting filmmaker due to his bluntness. And what he does with the idea of a fucked up family is that he shows all of the fucked up underbelly of the family without showing any of the love and the camaraderie and the closeness of that family. He just says that the love is twisted, the love is broken, and all of these people are perverts. And that's why we're stuck in this endless cycle of abuse and mistreatment. I really liked Visitor Q. I don't want to give number scores to any of the stuff that I review, but I really hope that I could review more movies, because honestly, that's like the only thing I really care about. That and comics. So yeah, whenever I watch a cool movie, I'll just come on here, say what I think, and post it. I don't see why not. If you like this, like, comment, subscribe. Should you watch Visitor Q? If you haven't seen Tumbling Doll of Flesh yet, if you haven't seen Ishii the Killer yet, if you haven't seen Audition yet, if you haven't seen 120 Days of Sodom yet, if you haven't seen August Underground yet, if you haven't seen any of these like really extreme exploitation films in a while, I just wouldn't suggest it. I would not suggest it. But if this review of Visitor Q made you want to watch this film and be like, wow, I want to be upset for like 90 minutes, yeah, no, totally, go for it. I think that that'd be really cool for you. I feel like you deserve that kind of mistreatment. I think we all deserve that kind of ability to be challenged and upset by art. And I think art is supposed to be challenging and upsetting. If you've never been challenged by a piece of art, If you've never found work that makes you upset, if you've never found work that talks about some of the traumas you might have experienced as a child or as a person or as a human, then I don't know. Don't watch movies.